Ooh, that looks tasty. Welcome folks, today the Hungry Gamer is back with another mini review, and today we're talking about Flock Together, designed by Matt Mundy with art by Andrew Bosley from Sea Cow Games. And thank you to Sea Cow Games for sending me this copy. Now, what this game is this is a cooperative game where you are taking on the role of chickens that are trying to survive 1 year while being assaulted by various predators from outside. And in the game, each player is going to take on the role of one of the chickens. And said chicken will start as a small chick with their own powers, and as you go through the game, you'll be able to level up and become stronger and stronger. And to do that, you're going to be going around the board, from inside the board to outside the board. You'll be attacking bugs, little grubs and things like that for their various powers. You'll be going out, you'll be harvesting food, you'll be getting eggs, well, laying eggs, and then exchanging those eggs for food, and then eating said food in order to level yourself up. At the same time, all around the board, there will be 4 different predators that are also, just like with the chickens, are little books, and they will level up as well as you go through the game's 3 seasons you have to survive. Every few turns of each season, you'll get a new weather card that will change the game state in some way. It might give you some kind of a boon, it might give you some kind of a penalty, but it will do something, and it will change a few times every season. And what you'll be doing is, for the most part, you're trying to bulk yourself up, and to do that, as I said, you'll be collecting food and eating that food. But you'll also be collecting these action cards that'll do a whole variety of different things as you play them, and you'll move from inside the coop to outside the coop. When you're outside the coop, you can attack these various predators. And to do that, it's very, very simple. You're going to have a set attack value that you can do. You're usually going to start at 1. You might get all the way up till 4, depending on the different characters that you have. And you'll spend 1 food per ability you have to do damage, and you'll put that food onto the card, onto the predator book, and that's going to track how much damage they've taken, and then they will react. They will almost always hurt you back, and you'll have little health chips at the top of your board that you'll then kind of flip over to show that you've been hurt. And often they will have some kind of ability, and you'll roll a die and kind of just see what happens. And either you will defeat all 4 predators, you have to defeat the 3 smaller ones before you can even find out who the big one is, and if you do that and none of the chickens has been defeated, then you win. And if you can't do that by the end of 3 seasons, then you will lose. It's just that simple. So what do I like about this game? First off, the art is absolutely stunning. It's just amazing. The art in this game is so wonderful all across the board. It's just fantastic. Along with that, it's chock full of puns. I just grabbed 2 stacks of the character books here. Mostly I grabbed enemies, but it's just great. We have Cleopatra, Sheer Corn, Salmonella, Hens Gruber, or Eggsmeralda are just some of the bad guys that you have here. 2 of the chickens that I grabbed here, we have Wingston Coophill and Cluckleberry Fen. And I love it. And not to mention, each one of them has their own little story on the back as well. Just the love that's gone into kind of the lore behind this, and the silliness and the tongue-in-cheekness, I just adore. Along with that, now this is a deluxe version that I have, but the production value is amazing. That box is packed full of stuff. Not only do you have double layered boards, you have those little flip books that I just showed you. Here is the first player marker, which is both super cool and metal. Love that. And even the dice that you're going to be rolling, right here, these special dice are little chickens. As you can see, you have the face, then on the opposite side, you got the little tail or the butt. Down bottom, you got the feet. You flip back to the top, you kind of have the 5, it's kind of the coxcomb there. And then on the sides, you have the feathers. I mean, that's just really thoughtful and really cool. I love that. Love it, love it, love it. So all of the production is fantastic. And that doesn't even talk about the food bits, which are all these different shapes and types of bits, and they're just, well, you just eat, that's it. But there's all these different things that you can choose to kind of, oh, no, my chicken only eats worms, it doesn't eat corn, like whatever. It's just very, very fun. Next thing I'll say is, it's super simple to kind of just jump into this game. It's just not hard to play, and because it's a cooperative game and you have all the abilities kind of listed on the bottom of your board, and every single ability that you're going to do is simple. There are no complex abilities. It might just be you might just move. That's one of your 2 actions you're going to take each turn. It makes it very easy to jump in and just play. Along with that, I think the variety of the bad guys is pretty darn good. The things that they do when you attack them are always going to keep you on your toes. At the same time, when you beat one, you're going to get some kind of loot, which might be usable once, it might be permanent upgrade, usable a few times. It's really, really clever the way that works, and also the way that they level up too, because every season, if they're not defeated, they get stronger, just like you've been getting stronger as you go through it. And I love all of that. The next thing I'm going to say that I really enjoy is this is not a game where you're going to have a lot of alpha gaming. I mean, I'm sure you can, but in general you don't, because it's so simple to figure out what it is that you want to do. You don't need people explaining to you what you need to do. And there's so many options of things that you can do that's going to be useful. But at the same time, the chickens do become kind of specialized. So someone can't just say, oh, no, you need to go attack this one baddie, because there's a good chance that you can't deal with that. You have other things that you're able to do. And it just, I think, works really, really well. The last thing I'm going to call out that I like is the mild asymmetry of the different characters. They have different health and different attack abilities and different likelihoods of getting eggs at the beginning of each turn, and different abilities, which I think I already said, but different abilities. But again, they're similar enough that you can pick up any one and kind of just jump in and play. And so I appreciate that in a game that is on the lighter side. So what are my quibbles with this game? Well, the first one is it's just mild asymmetry. For my personal taste, I like significant asymmetry. I want those characters to be very different with very powerful abilities. Though I will say they do have powerful abilities, but I want more significant asymmetry as I go through, though of course that would up the weight of the game. The next thing I'm going to say is I think the game is easy. The 4 or 5 times that I've played now, I've never come close to losing. And I've had fun every time. But I don't think this is a very hard game. Yes, you can be throwing the dice and get some really bad rolls, but again, you roll the dice enough in any given game that I feel like the amount of times that I've played, it would have come up. So I think it's just an easier game. The next thing I'll say is the weather can just be crushing. Those weather events, you are really at the luck of the draw. And I guess that is somewhat thematic because weather's going to do what weather's going to do. But there's times when you're like, oh, well, for the next 3 turns, I can't eat anything. Or I only get 1 action at the next 3 turns. And that can really throw a monkey wrench into things. Though on the other side, sometimes you get this great boon. It's like, oh, you're going to get another action one of these turns. So it's back and forth, but the weather can be very, very swingy, and when it's bad, it can be really bad. The next thing I'm going to say is, on all of those action cards, there's no art. It's just the text of what it does. And on the one hand, I get it. You have Andrew Bosley, who is one of the biggest names in board game illustration, so to have art on all of those would be very, very expensive, I'm sure. But the art is so great, I want it to be on there, and there's plenty of space on those cards. That's a quibbly quibble, but hey, that's what I'm here for, right? And the last thing I'm going to say is the gameplay loop is samey. You're always kind of going to do the same thing. It's going to be, okay, well, here's my chicken. I'm going to figure out what's the simplest way that I can jump up a level decently quick. I'm going to get some action cards so I can try to facilitate that. I'm going to move around. Because it's a simple game, you're doing the same type of thing every time you play. And the difference comes with what's the breakdown of the bad guys that you have out there, and there's enough bad guys that you have a lot of options, but you're going to be kind of in a similar loop every time that you play. But really, that's all, folks. I am super charmed by this game. I think it is light. I think it's simple. I think it's one that you can introduce to a lot of people, and it gets people into kind of this co-op. It's not really a boss battler, but a little bit kind of boss battle-y vibe. And I think it's very, very sweet. It's very, very charming, and I really, really enjoy it. And I think if you are someone that likes co-op games and you like puns and you're looking for something cute and light and easy that anybody can just jump in and play and it's going to be a relaxing, fun time, then this might just be a game for you. So there you have it, folks. As always, if you found this video useful, please like, subscribe, share, maybe become a channel member. As always, thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.